do you guys want to turn on your video so we can see you too? Hello, we've got a decent crowd. Yay, woo. So thank you. Yeah, welcome to our hybrid performance with Adam R. I'm delighted to be speaking from Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, Virginia, but also hello to the live audience in Chicago at Co-Prosperity Sphere, where they have a live audience as well. And so hello to those in the CID building. If you're here for the performance, you're in the right place. If you're not, just join us anyway. So the performance is titled. To our hybrid performance. Oh, that's quite an echo. I'm just going to talk through it. The performance is titled Liner Notes for Undressing Cover Songs, The Zone of Pure Doubt. It's a mixed reality concert and poetic line crossing ceremony. Adam R., also known as Anatomical Theaters of Mixed Reality, a collective exploring 21st century embodiment through performance, poetics, emerging technologies, and more. The work mixes the live body with ubiquitous computing through an implementation of augmented reality in which virtual content is overlaid
note, the gorge of the throat, where it is conceived as an opening that is both a hole and a star. Asterisms, fluorescing, in night, soil, lumen, foramen, lucky, star.
A nudie suit is a way of covering while becoming uncovered.
Liner notes for Undressing cover songs. Volume 3, The Zone of Pure Doubt. I was sitting by my bedside, just as lonesome as can be, and I sang to the mirror, oh mirror, what will I be? And it may seem unbelievable, but my grandmother replied, make you, make you, make you an outfit.
The beginning.
Liner note. We set out to make a record with only a jacket so that the lines of each song could become part of its lining. Later, there were two jackets, one gold and the other black, one thrusting its hips violently in the wind, the other brushing its tassels on the ruins of the fort while refracting the light that pierces embrasures, creating both disco and nocturne. We found ourselves heeding the call to unmake a record, to invert and penetrate the hollow shells of buildings, not so much as a substitute for hedonism, but to open portals to the impossibility of an origin. We stayed in to make a record that is the interiority of drapery, furnishing the roominess of ligatures. When this album began, we were looking at the meticulously rhinestoned home of Loy Bolin, the self-proclaimed original rhinestone cowboy. This home became the point of departure for a covering over of Glenn Campbell's 1975 hit, Rhinestone Cowboy. I still remember when home and fort began to undress for one another until they could no longer tell themselves the same story of their apartness. As I cruised the ruins of manhunt.org, together with the profile of my torso on the edge of the lake, I noted that our geolocation was identified as Fort Dearborn Edition, Illinois. In other words, the fort's disappearance became a fort by the same name. Track 1, Rhinestone Cowgirl in a Dazzling Camouflage.
So long, so long.
They wrote your downfall was your beautiful code.
Have been singing
They
this song all along.
I came in on a boat.
Every crack in these, every crack. I know every crack in these dirty sidewalks of Broadway.
I walk your seated ground,
Hustle is the name of the game.
wrapped within the black gold of your
There's been a road where I'm gonna be.
Until it had been a mine all along,
I'm gonna be
like a dazzling, dazzling candle,
it's a shining down on me.
deep within the gorge of my glisten.
Like a rhinestone, like a cowboy,
Deep within the orgy
like a
of
settler,
my
like a settler, like a
glistening
settler, like a soldier.
I'm gonna be where the loads are tendered invisibly.
Riding out on a horse, in a star-spangled rodeo, getting cards and letters,
Where our missiles become missiles.
some even know.
Where our missiles become missiles from submissives who we don't even know. I wanted
Don't mind the
to
rage.
hunt you down.
Well, I don't really
In this cold
Mind
cruising ground,
'cause a smile
where our missiles become
can hide all the
missiles,
pain.
buried in the secrets of your rising mounds.
But you're down, but you're down, but you're down when you're riding the train. But you're
They
down when
are
you're riding the
water,
train. It's taking the
a
long way down.
harbinger. So many sexy soldier boys in the formed dearborn addition
On the road
to Illinois. So many loads of compromising, tenderizing my horizon.
But I'm gonna be where the light, where the rain is shining down on me. I'm gonna be
Where the lights are
shining down.
tenderly
It's a rhinestone, like a rhinestone, like a rhinestone. I'm gonna be
Levi-studded rodeo.
In the fort's addition, the aperture faces itself. Because the fort is inside us and we are inside it. The fort's disappearance became a fort by the same name. Because it replicates itself without effort or end. The embrasure divides us in a weaponized hold. Because the fort knows how to mark a body. Its elbows bound in a sailor's handshake. Because violence is the tender's embrace. Liner note. Later, we were working in a recording studio located within one of the 4 tender houses flanking the DuSable Bridge in downtown Chicago, situated on the grounds of the former colonial Fort Dearborn. Decorating one of the bridge's tender houses, a bas-relief sculpture titled Defense commemorates the fallen fort, first destroyed during the Battle of Fort Dearborn in 1812, a victory for the Potawatomi in their courageous resistance to the settler colonial project that is these United States of America. And here, in the depths of a forgotten history, we uncovered the remarkable figure of Archange Wilmette with the help of historian Anne Keating. Archange was a prominent Potawatomi woman and powerful Indian country fur trader who witnessed the 1812 Battle of Fort Dearborn from the roof of her home. Even as her own grandfather waged war against the settlers, Archange, in an act of neighborly compassion, provided cover for both American soldiers and civilians, saving their lives. You hid me in your garment when I was an enemy sergeant. Opposite the bank where Fort Dearborn once stood stands a tower erected in the same colonial spirit, a proud boy of a building flashing gaudy letters typeset in a font named Stymie, spelling the name of a rogue former president who inspired an insurrection against his own government. To make a bottom of the tower's top, we plumb the stymied ligatures of the heights' depths. A storm is blowing from paradise. This storm is what we call progress, Walter Benjamin writes of the angel of history. White supremacy as origin and telos, that is the story of progress in the United States of America. Track 2, Bloodlines.
Oh, oh, master of bread, I feel you coming from behind. Oh, and under me, can you give me a sign? Primping your feathers for stormy weather.
Gazing at the lensing sky, from tomb you lie, lintering through, waiting for the cue. 'Cause these are not Tecumseh's kin, defending their ground. No, these are Harrison's men, born again at Prophetstown. I see blood lines, I see muscular flesh, I see a lens in a flesh, I see tattoo rippling a flesh. justice of our fathers and fathers' fathers. I see mine, and I see yours, caught in the eternal dance of return. I see blood, life, I see a dusker hiked high when you dance. I see a rotunda where we kiss it all goodbye. I see a dusker hiked high. I see a lensing effect in the sky. Oh, angel of history, you don't really want to go. Those are clamoring for justice, and only you can make them whole. There's a storm a-blowing, and it's reaping time for what we've been sowing. Take me out and hand me down. Take it out and hand it down. Show me your box of living swifts. I'll write your name on it. I'll write your name on it. Swiftly go, swiftly down. It's your hand in my down. It's your hand in my down. It's a hand down. It's a hand down. It's a hand me down. It's my hand in your down. Your hands are an augury, performing an autopsy on the wound of the now. You turn the letter upside down and left it fluttering there, ungendering the air. Oh, arcane, your roof is breathing with visionary emptiness. Archangel history,
sitting on your roof with your sister, so neighborly. Your garment protected me. You took me out into your hand-me-down. You hid me in your garment when I was an enemy sergeant. I feel you blowing behind me. I feel you blowing behind me. I feel you storming behind me. I feel you storming. I feel you storming behind me. From the other side of the roof, swiftly go the years all at once. 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 I feel you storming behind me. I feel you storming inside me. I feel you lighting me. I feel you lighting me. I feel you lighting me. I
kiss it all goodbye. And I see a dusker hike high. I see a lensing effect in the sky.
Liner note. There is a zone in the Pacific near the elusive location of the international dateline of Jewish law, where the day and time to observe the Sabbath, the time of rest, cannot be adequately determined by the usual adjustments in global timekeeping. Is this why it seems that the bodies who vanish there cannot be still enough for us to identify them, to unite them with their truer names? And yet, sailors who cross the equator go on with their centuries-old baptism charades, attaining and naming the certainty of a protective armor as they graduate from polywog to mono shellback. When we cross the line, it bends us precisely because our bodies are becoming softer.
I was sitting on my bedside, just as lonesome as could be. And I said to my Savta, "Give me something to make me strong." And it did seem unbelievable, but my Savta replied, "The beginning, Ahava mimawi, eze applicatia, wow, eze zero, ze ani rotze kesef, interest, eze zero, ze ani latex." The beginning, love greeting from Maui. What an application. Wow, what a zero. It's me wanting money, interest. What a zero. It's me, latex. The whole thing doesn't make sense. A few weeks ago, I was teaching my graduate creative coding seminar, and the strangest thing happened. I was typing up some JavaScript code, demonstrating something for my students, and all of a sudden, characters that I was not typing began to insert themselves into my code, as if a phantom were at the keyboard. This is a true story, honest to the goddess. But the strangest part was that this phantom text was presenting itself not in English, but rather in Hebrew, in my mother tongue, in my grandmother's tongue. What was this mysterious glitch in the matrix? Could it be a message from my deceased grandmother, who never got to meet the girl that I am only now discovering myself to be? And what could this haunting missive mean? The beginning, love greeting from Maui. What an application. Wow. What a zero. It's me wanting money, interest. What a zero. It's me, latex. The whole thing doesn't make sense. Track 3, The Zone of Pure Doubt, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Disney Princesses. This is the song you can sing along to if you want. Edge of the water, long as I can remember, never really knowing why.
Reckoning between the
I
lines.
wish I could be the perfect daughter, but I come back to the water, no matter how hard I try.
Where the equator meets the
Every turn I take, every trail I track, every path I make, every road leads back to the place I know where I cannot go,
where I disappear
see the
again.
line where the sky meets the sea, calls me, and
No one knows of pure
in a zone of beyond that line. Will I cross that line? I can roll with mine.
An island's
Can
death
lead with pride
is a
and make us
marriage to
strong.
the
Satisfied
sea,
for play along.
and it's
The voice
foaming
inside sings a
you
different song.
and
What is
me.
wrong with me? See the light where the sky meets the sea. It's blinding. No one knows how deep it goes. It seems like it's coming to find me. And I know beyond that line, will I cross that line? The line where the sky meets the sea, it calls me. No one knows how far it goes. If the wind in my sail on the sea stays behind me, they all know how far I'll go.
Light meets itself, in the middle of our age. We are split along the keel, a meridian between our legs. Waves trough themselves at the midline of penmanship, and the W in rest washes over our hips. Playing doctor again, we are no longer men, coding the flags of our conditions, and the double of our rest seems to coalesce in this tomorrow. The line meets itself in the middle of your name. You are split along the keel, a meridian between your lakes. Waves top themselves at the midline of penmanship, and the W in rest wafts away from your fingertips. Playing doctor again, not or no longer men, coding the flags of our conditions, and the double of our rest, it seems to coalesce in the beginning.
I will say too that the in-person audience is also welcome to ask questions if they'd like.
Lean into it.
I will
So
say too that the in-person audience is also welcome to ask questions if they'd like.
I'm not sure if we caught what you just said.
We were just doing some in-person audience-related things, but we're going to be ready to start the Q&A in just
we're
a
going to start
moment.
with questions.
Yeah, please.
Does
Judd will
anyone
be right
here?
up
Great.
here.
Great. We have one. All right.
I will say too that the in-person audience is also welcome to ask.
Okay. All right. We'll just go ahead.
I got here about like
I'm not sure if
like
we
15
caught
minutes
what you
late,
just said.
and I didn't
We were
really.
just doing some in-person audience-related things, but we're going to Q&A in just
We're
a
going to start
moment.
with questions.
Yeah, please.
Does
Judd will
anyone
be right
here?
up
Great.
here.
Great. We have one. All right.
There's a big echo delay here,
Go
so we didn't
ahead.
get the question yet.
I got here about like 15 minutes late, and I didn't
We were
really.
just doing some in-person audience-related things, but we're going to be. Can you speak up?
We're going to start with questions.
Yeah. Or actually, sorry, we're having technical difficulties. Just give us one moment.
Right.
There's a big echo delay here, so we didn't get the question yet.
I got here about. Like,
Okay. Oh, yes. Yeah. So I think we're going to try to text questions. Thank you for your patience. This is a quite complicated tech setup. Amazing team here helping us out.
Yeah.
Okay, please try to ask that question again.
It's like a seance.
I just get to sit up here and look pretty. I'm okay with that.
No, really? Okay, let's just try. Can you hear us? Yes.
Sorry. Very echoey, but we had a question about how you would describe the main message of your work.
Main message.
I know that's maybe a tough one.
Yeah, I can try to answer that. The question was, what's the main message? I don't know if that's an answerable question for this kind of work. There are many messages, and the work evolves in a really organic way. I think I think about it less in terms of messages and more in terms of themes. And it's kind of, for me, I mean, Judd will speak on his own behalf, but for me, it's sort of like a knot of different threads that actually accumulate over time across projects in a really interesting and strange way, which is why the work can be hard to parse, and it's not necessarily very legible, and we're very aware of that. And we're constantly, and Judd and I tend to lean a little bit more towards legibility. Judd tends to lean a little bit more towards obscurity. So we try to find a balance, and I think the liner notes were an attempt to do some poetic explication of some of the themes. But I can at least name the themes. There are quite a few, and they're all entangled together. But the Rhinestone Cowboy, as a cover song that was made famous by Glenn Campbell in 1975, is a source text that we're working with, and we're playing with the idea of cover songs as a sort of metaphor and covering over, and we're using that to try to think critically about American history, about the history of colonialism in general and in Chicago in particular, through the research that we did into the Fort Dearborn, which is what Bloodlines is about, and the last part of the performance is where it's starting to pivot into a new project and new thematics, and those are very much tied up with the sort of unexpected connections we found between my gender transition and Judd's sabbatical project.
Yeah, I guess I can pick that up. I mean, the idea of the message is interesting because the one message that appears in the performance is the message that appeared in Aviva's code in Hebrew, and it doesn't make any sense. So I think we don't know what the message means, but we're sort of patterning and accumulating and finding resonances and sculpting this album. So the thing that holds the disparate pieces together is that they're all songs on the same album. But this piece is very much a departure, and that departure has to do with Aviva's transition, and I've been researching because I'm on sabbatical from the School of the Art Institute, and so one of the premises of my sabbatical is that the sabbatical and Sabbath are related words, and sabbatical is supposed to be a kind of rest in the way that a Sabbath is a kind of rest. But there are these intricacies in the rules for how you mark the Sabbath when you're in different locations around the world. And there is this kind of, as you near the international date line, although that's just a stand-in for another date line that nobody agrees where it is, which is a Jewish date line, where none of the rules to determine the Sabbath, the time to observe the Sabbath, are really sufficient to claim any accuracy, and this is called the zone of pure doubt. And so I've been interested in this sort of evasiveness of a place of rest. And then, there's sort of these strange coincidences with Aviva learning the Moana song, which is based on a Pacific island. And the research I'm doing is also based on Pacific islands, so I'm also studying navigation of the Pacific and colonization of the Pacific. And line crossing ceremonies, which are when sailors or naval officers cross key meridians like the equator or the international date line. There are these elaborate rituals that are performed, and as you cross different lines, you enter into different sort of orders, and so there's a kind of mythology of evolution and gain So when you cross the equator, you go from being a polywog to a shellback. And we're always trying to invert these things and disrupt them. So we were thinking more about getting rid of a shell, or what is it? Like Aviva's skin is becoming softer, right, not harder.
Because of hormone therapy.
What?
Because of hormone therapy.
Yeah. So
hormone therapy.
because of hormone therapy. So and me because of age, I'm getting softer. So there's a lot going on there with time, global timekeeping, time in relation to space and lines of meridian. But just to say, like, this is just like a ceremony to announce a new departure. And so when you do these rituals at the line, say the equator, they talk about, they refer to it as baptism at the line. So it always involves water. And I mean, often the rituals are really perverse and violent, like hazing rituals. But the key metaphor is baptism. And so we had these really strange coincidences with the Sabbath, with the Hebrew in Aviva's code that appeared as a message.
Which is literally a true story.
Yeah, and the South Pacific, and line crossing and rites of passage and transitions. And I was also thinking about baptism and what it means to take on a new name, or a name that feels truer than the given name. So for me, this ritual, this was like a ceremony really for Aviva. That's how it was happening for me without really thinking about it. That's just how I was responding. And so, this is all stuff we've, the Moana song is where we ended our last performance. So in our practice, what we tend to do is whenever we have a new performance, we add something new to the material. So we do iterations, not like we don't reproduce performances, we iterate them. So that was the new bit. So every time we perform, we do something new. So that was the piece that's never been done, never been tried. We just came into the space and fortunately had this amazing people to figure out the setup and get it all working beautifully. But we really, in 4 or 5 hours, it was just enough time to figure out how we wanted to use the space, do some vocal warm-ups, and that's it. So performance is like this really ephemeral, haphazard form sometimes, and it really did take some time for me to feel comfortable and get into it. And but yeah, I don't know if that helps. It's kind of the work itself is transitioning between different thematics and different periods of research, and each song represents really like a different research point in this evolving body of work. And we used to, before we expanded to the newest material, we were able to work them together and talk about them coherently. But now there's a departure happening where we can't synthesize a message about the material and how it's sitting together right now, because something new is happening that doesn't necessarily build on what we were doing before, but maybe departs from it a little bit.
We're discovering the work with you. You are. We just challenged you. That's a great question. Um, I actually teach a class called Mixed Reality Storytelling, so I ought to be able to answer this question. Um, I think, I think the easy answer is no, not really. It's because AR is, you're in a space, you're seeing a space, you're moving through physical space and virtual space. I think it lends itself better to short form storytelling. However, I could imagine lots of ways that you could engage in a long form storytelling. So I think I think it's easier to think about short form, but there's lots of things you could do in long form. I'm just thinking off the cuff of my head, like you could have story that unfolds over geographic space in a city that might take months to uncover. I think it really depends.
I mean, I don't see why not if you want it to. I mean, I think that maybe we're using it for sort of more like a long form poetic trajectory of some kind. But it is a kind of storytelling, but not in a sort of, conventional narrative type way. But I think it's how you use it and what you bring to it. You can definitely create, intricate connections and narrative accumulations in a long form, I think. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody, for making this possible. Yeah, I think I want some wine. We can hang out and chat if you want.